Imagine getting paid so much money that your home country literally passed a law to stop you from leaving. That was the Varangian Guard, Viking mercenaries who made more in 1 year protecting the Byzantine Emperor than most medieval warriors made in a lifetime. But here's what made them different. They weren't just rich. They were the only soldiers the emperor could trust not to murder him in his sleep. For 500 years, Byzantine emperors had a problem every powerful man faces. How do you know who's loyal? Your own generals want your job, your aristocrats have private armies, even your bodyguards have murdered previous emperors. So what do? You hire foreigners, Vikings, warriors who don't care about your politics, don't want your throne, and will die protecting you for one simple reason. You're their only path to generational wealth. This is the story of the Varangian Guard and how they turned protecting one man into the highest paid gig in the medieval world.
Constantinople, 10th century, richest city on earth. But the emperor has a problem every powerful man faces. Everyone around him wants him dead. Your generals? They have private armies. Your palace guards? Throughout Roman history, bodyguards don't just protect emperors, they kill them and sell the throne to the highest bidder. So the Byzantines tried something radical. Hire Vikings, not as raiders, as employees. For over a century, Norse warriors from Russia had been attacking Constantinople. The Byzantines beat them back with Greek fire, then offered them contracts. Work for us, we'll pay you more than you could steal. It worked. These foreign warriors fought in Crete, Italy, Syria, proving they were competent and controllable. But they weren't yet the Varangian Guard. That required a crisis.
976 AD. A young emperor named Basil II takes the throne, and immediately 2 of his most powerful generals try to overthrow him. These aren't rebels from the frontier, these are men who command the empire's best armies. Basil realizes he's playing a rigged game. Every Byzantine soldier ultimately answers to someone else. He needs an entirely new deck of cards. He sends a message to Vladimir, Prince of Kiev. Send me 6,000 of your best warriors. In exchange, you get my sister, a princess born in the imperial palace, something no barbarian ruler had ever received. Vladimir sees the genius immediately. He's got 6,000 unruly Vikings he can't afford to pay. This solves his problem and gets him a power marriage. But there's one condition. Convert to Christianity and bring your whole nation with you. One deal. Changed European history forever. When the 6,000 arrive, Basil doesn't waste time. He personally leads them against the rebel army at Chrysopolis. The Byzantine chronicler describes what happened next. They cheerfully hacked them to pieces. The rebel general dies on the battlefield, his army collapses, and Basil realizes he's just solved the unsolvable problem. These foreign warriors have no Byzantine family connections, no land holdings in the empire, no political ambitions, everything to lose if the emperor dies. Their loyalty isn't cultural, it's structural. As long as he pays them, they're his.
Let's talk money, because this is where it gets insane. Base pay far higher than any Byzantine soldier. Combat bonuses. After one battle in 1016, Basil gave them 1/3 of all captured treasure. The palace pillaging right. When an emperor died, each Varangian could walk into the imperial treasury and take as much gold as he could physically carry. By giving them a massive payout when emperors died naturally, you guaranteed they'd protect the succession process. They had no reason to support coups. Every peaceful transfer of power meant payday. The ultimate success story, Hardrada. Norwegian prince arrives in 1034 as a political refugee, spends 10 years in the Guard, fights in Sicily, Bulgaria, Syria, even helps blind an emperor during a palace coup. When he returns to Norway, he's carrying the largest personal fortune ever seen in Scandinavia. He uses that Byzantine gold to raise an army and claim the Norwegian throne. Sweden had so many men leaving for Constantinople that they passed the Västgötalagen law. You couldn't inherit property if you stayed in Greece. They were hemorrhaging their military-age population to Byzantine gold.
Fast forward to 1066. William the Conqueror wins at Hastings. Thousands of Anglo-Saxon nobles, professional warriors, elite infantry lose everything. Their lands confiscated, their king dead, their way of life destroyed. Many refuse to serve William. So where do displaced, highly trained medieval special forces operators go? Constantinople. Over 5,000 Anglo-Saxons and Danes arrive in the 1070s, 80s. The Guard transforms. By the 12th century, English becomes the common language. They're even called the Anglin Barangoi, the Anglo-Varangians. Then comes one of history's greatest ironies. Norman Duke Robert Guiscard, one of William the Conqueror's allies, invades Byzantine territory in Albania. Emperor Alexios marches out with about 1,000 Varangians, mostly English. They see those Norman cavalry banners and something primal kicks in. When the Normans charge, the Anglo-Saxons don't just hold, they counterattack. Axes cutting through knights, payback for Hastings, 15 years of rage unleashed. The Norman right wing breaks and runs. But then history repeats. Just like Hastings, they pursue too far, get isolated. Norman cavalry surrounds them, they're cut to pieces. The survivors retreat to a church. The Normans burn it down with them inside.
The Guard kept fighting for another 120 years. In 1122, when nomadic warriors formed a wagon fortress that stopped the Byzantine army cold, Emperor John II personally led the Varangians forward. They hacked through the wagons with their axes and shattered the enemy. That's what you paid them for, to be the hammer when everything else fails. But at Manzikert in 1071, when a Turkish army surrounded the emperor, the Varangian Guard stood their ground and fought to the last man. Virtually all the emperor's guards fell around him. They rebuilt, but the real end came in 1204, and it came from other Christians. The Fourth Crusade was supposed to attack Muslims in the Holy Land. Instead, they attacked Constantinople. The Varangians, still mostly English and Danish, defended the walls in savage close-quarters combat, axes against swords. They held the first assault. But when the emperor fled and the city fell, 3 days of looting destroyed the empire's economy. The Byzantines lost 90% of their territory. They rebuilt a fraction of what they'd been. You can't afford elite mercenaries when you're broke. The last clear record, 1259, Varangians escorting a prisoner. After that, they just disappear from history. The empire limped on for another 200 years, but the axe-bearers were gone.
The Varangian Guard learned loyalty can't be bought with words, only with aligned incentives. Basil II understood you don't need warriors who love you, you need warriors whose success is impossible without you. Pay them better than anyone else. Give them privileges nobody else has. Make sure their wealth, status, and future depend entirely on your survival. Across Scandinavia, runestones still commemorate men who fell in Greece or divided gold in Miklagard.
The sagas still tell of fortunes won in the great city, and in Byzantine records they're remembered as terrible of aspect and huge of body, men who kept their oaths until the empire itself could no longer afford them. If you're into military history and the strategies that actually worked, hit subscribe. We break down elite units, unconventional tactics, and the real reasons empires rise and fall. Drop a comment. Would you have made the journey to Constantinople for Byzantine gold, or is leaving everything behind too high a risk? Let me know.